Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday evening, it's 7 p.m, and we are here at a very, very wet looking Silverstone for the British Grand Prix for Tier 3. Now, it's been a while since I've done lead comps, so bear with me if I'm a little rusty, but instead of racing this week, I decided to jump in the comms box. Now, joining me tonight is someone I obviously haven't worked with for quite a while now, but I'm very pleased to welcome him back into the comms in the same tier before, although he's now a hell of a lot quicker than I am, but it is what it is. Good evening, Steve, also known as Keza Soze. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Looking at the screen at the moment, as you said, wet track. This is going to be very tricky qualifying. Separate the men from the boys.
Oh, it certainly is, and being Tier 3, it should definitely make it interesting.
Absolutely.
It just proves that I must have a curse with Tier 3, because ever since I came back, almost every race has had some form of wet. I'm not even racing this week, I've jumped in the comms box instead, and it's still giving a bit of wet off, so...
You say that actually, I think Silverstone, my last race at Silverstone, the first dry one, solid dry race all the way through that I think I've had so far as well.
I can't remember Austria last week. I think that may have been one of the only dry races I've had with no wet at all. Normally I get at least one session that's wet and then one that is either dry or changing.
Well,
I don't mind so much if it's wet quality, but if I was racing this, I would actually prefer it to be wet. I do better in the wet round Silverstone.
Yeah, I think I'm so used to Silverstone now. It was one of my favourite tracks. I've practiced on it so many times, and like you say, I think it doesn't seem to matter to me really what the weather conditions are. It's just a comfortable track.
Well, it's one that if you watch the real life F1 as well, it always delivers, does this track.
Yeah, it was a cracking race last weekend. Go Hulk.
Oh, what was it, 239 races and he finally gets that podium.
Yeah, something like that.
He's been so close so many times because he's been in some of the top teams, but...
It's just, yeah, he's never quite had the right bit at the right moment, never had the luck really. And yeah, it all sort of came together. I mean, in the last few races, he's had some good results all together really. Coming from quite far back and making up a lot of positions.
Well, with it being a little... Well, it's full wets as well, so this is going to be an interesting session, and as we all know, load up on fuel and things will just get better as it goes along.
We've got fake G-Star right at the back of the field at the moment on his out lap, just about to start. I think he's the only one we've got on Inters at the moment, so it's a brave move because it is soaking wet out there.
I think in honour of the Hulk, I'll jump on board with Kick and watch his lap. So into turn 1 known as Abbey, through Farm Curve, which is turn 2, and into turn 3, which is Village. Very slidey conditions out there. He's controlling it fairly well into the loop, also known as turn 4. That slight kink that is turn 5, well, obviously more than a kink in these conditions, but normally you would open the DRS here, and straight down the Wellington straight, heading for Brooklands. Peaky braking point, and hopefully he can keep it on track. It's very slidey around there. And then we're going around the right-hander, which is at Luffield corner, and that corner just seems to go on forever. Used to be the final corner of the race as well. Now onto what is the old pit straight, and coming up to the infamous Cops, 2021 anyone. A lot of braking for Cops in these conditions, and coming down to now what is probably my favourite sequence of corners on an F1 track. First of Maggots, and then into Beckett's, which obviously is going to be a lot slower in these conditions. You almost fly out through Maggots and a bit of a lift for Beckett's. Through Chapel Corner and onto the Hangar Straight, which would be the second DRS zone if it wasn't these conditions. And here we go, Stowe Corner, where Michael Schumacher famously broke his leg in 1999. He hooks it up fairly well, doesn't spin like Max did, and into the final couple of corners. We've got Vale, and then this is a very tricky corner, trying to hook up the traction on the exit for Club Corner, which is now the final corner, onto the Hamilton Straight, and he pulls in a 1:43.2, our fastest lap yet. Go Hulk.
By a fair chunk as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's got at least 1.3 over Drag King. But it is very interesting conditions. Let's go have a look at the...
he's put that lap in on a set of intermediates as well, so that's yeah, that's a pretty good lap.
It's a very good lap from Drag King actually. For a set of inters. I mean, it looked horrendous for the wets. Airways is retired, but he is obviously a higher tier reserve, so no real need for him to qualify. Got a few guys still sitting in the pits at the moment. Johns has invalidated, so let's go have a look at Genie, who's just coming around the last corner. What's he going to pop in? 51.5. Obviously still finding his feet, getting his tyres up to speed. Sabi is just up in Village and in the loop at the moment, so we'll come back to him in a bit.
John's just finished his lap. Didn't really make much headway on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, he'd invalidated about halfway through the lap, unfortunately, so no. Unfortunately, red track means no prizes. Plenty of time yet, though. I estimate, what, at least 13-14 minutes left.
A fair amount. It's, like you say, it's always worth putting a big old chunk of fuel in and just staying out and testing those conditions. Always find more time when it's raining.
Yeah, in these conditions, I'd be going for at least 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah.
Because you've got to build the confidence. You've got to build the heat in the tyres. I find the first lap or two, I don't even put the ERS on.
No.
I slowly build it up, build my confidence, get used to where I can apply the power. Try and hope that a lot of cars are going down to get that dry line.
Yeah, you can make those tyres last a fair amount of time by doing that as well.
The other kick is out on track as well, Mr. Stoob. So we'll keep an eye on his lap times. John's going round again. He's just finished coming through Chapel. It's showing purple on the mini-map, but we never know, because I think it's fastest in that sector at the time, I think is what it indicates. And since he's the only one in that sector, it really doesn't mean a lot. 18 people watching, welcome all. Let's hope we get some good likes on the channel tonight. Here we go, final corner.
Come out the end of his sector. So.
Ooh, P2. That was a good lap.
Oh, nice.
Stoob is just coming off Beckett's and Chapel. That's a really nice view down. Oh, yeah, well, it would be from Stowe. Looking down, you can see Maggots and Beckett's in the background. You can see the drier line forming as well.
Yeah, it's coming.
I'd love to sit down at Stowe in the Lando stand. If you could get a nice lower one so the bridge doesn't block your view, watch the cars coming through Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, there's a stand right at the very end of Maggots Beckett's. I think it's the what probably called I can't remember now, but it faces directly, so you've got the cars coming almost face on. Not sat there, but it's a bit open, and obviously you probably heard yourself, Maggots Beckett's. When you're sitting in the stands up there, it doesn't matter what the weather's like, it's freezing and windy all the time.
Unfortunately, I've never actually been to Silverstone. I really want to go one year, but unfortunately, because of the popularity, they like to put a high price tag on the tickets because they know people are going to pay it.
Yeah, it's a little bit out there. Certain things there, but we this year, I mean the crowd. Obviously, every time Lewis comes out the pits, the crowd goes mental, more so than Lando still for some reason. But the noise in the crowd when Hulkenberg came across the line, it was incredible. It was like Hamilton had won the race, but the place erupted so much. Nice bit of appreciation for something that's taken 14 years or something to achieve.
Something mad like that, isn't it? Were you actually there for the Sunday then?
Yeah, we did the Friday, Saturday, Sunday this year, and saw all the sort of Formula 3, 2, and then Formula 1 on the Sunday, which was interesting. We were sat on coming out of Hamilton Straight into Abbey, and the spray was absolutely insane. And once all the cars had gone past, all the the spray sort of follows them down the track. It's like just a wall of spray that sort of gets dragged along in the slipstream, I suppose, or with the wake of the cars.
Oh, fair
But
enough. See, you were sat into what we could really call the Ganyu corner.
oh, that one, yeah, yeah. If we'd have been there a couple of years before, he would have, yeah, slid off right in front of us and off to our left into that barrier. So, but that year, I think we were sat down at the start of it. We were either in club or at the start of the Hamilton Straight, I think. So we didn't really see it until it was on camera.
Obviously, no offence intended there in case. I'm glad the driver was all right, but it is a very iconic moment from that race.
Oh God, yeah, it was a scary moment. I'm thinking at that particular point, like I say, we were sat at the other end of the start-finish straight, so we just saw it come up on the screen, and then there was like an eerie silence all of a sudden because all the cars had obviously already gone, and nobody knew if he was moving in the car at that point. So yeah, it was a bit, and then somebody acknowledged his movement, and then the crowd started getting back to normal and knew everything was all right. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird moment.
See, a lot of the cars are pitting now and putting the intermediates on, so
yeah,
clearly
the line is definitely there.
It definitely is. 31 people watching. We'll welcome all. Let's hope we get some more likes on this system. What have we got so far? I think it's 4. We'll double check.
I might have just accidentally made it 5 on my own.
And good evening, Mr. Hills. Are you with us in the UK, or are you still in the mountains of Andorra?
You see those pictures the other day that he sent through? View over the mountains and all that, absolutely incredible.
He does get some brilliant views up there, I must admit. What we got? Stube P8. Let's go have a look at Genie. What tyres is he on? He's still on the full wets at the moment. So there's a mixture of feelings here, but some of the quickest laps are from the intermediates.
Yeah.
P1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 and 12 are all... Mr. Hills is still in the mountains. Back for a break soon. Hopefully that means you'll be on track. I think it's been a while since we've seen you flying around. Yeah, it's
and comes back and continues to fly around and hasn't lost any speed or anything. We all sit there and sad face.
I know, I took about 6 months out and I'm really struggling to find a lot of the pace that I had.
Well, when I first put this game on, I found it I got on quite well with it, and I thought, oh look, I seem to have found a bit of pace. And then as the weeks have gone on, it seems to have dropped off a little bit. Not quite sure what's going on at the moment. Just need some good setups.
Maybe it's not that you've dropped off, it's probably that everybody else has caught up.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
I feel more comfortable on this game than I have on the last two, that's for sure. The last time I felt this comfortable on a game, it was 22. And that's when I came out of the blocks absolutely flying and was fighting for the title from pretty much the word go.
Yeah, 22 was a good version.
But unfortunately I've not had the same success this time, but I am a bit out of practice. But at times I think I'm still generally around the top 5, which I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
And I know over time I will get quicker again. I've just got to get back into the swing of it.
Coming to our conversation there, sorry, Hyde Clip's just coming into the end of a lap, and I think he's currently on for borderline pole position.
Oh, let's get some.
He was about 7/10 up.
I knew I was missing something. I wasn't seeing sector times. I forgot the lap data. He's P1.
He's done it.
6/10 of a second.
A big chunk. So he made up even more time, probably another 4 or 5 tenths in just the last sector.
See what else we've got.
Those Inters have definitely got the advantage now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Inter weather. Let's have a look at Triz. He seems to be very quick this season as well. It seems to be every race wherever I go, Triz is there.
It's funny how you always find certain people on track. And
Which
it can last like a season.
For me, it's usually Triz when it comes to the results at the end, and Genie on the track. Wherever I go, I find Rob. Let's see what Triz is doing. Just coming up to the end of the second sector, and we have nearly a 2-second improvement.
That's a big chunk. What's he on now?
If he can find about another second, he's going to be challenging for pole, which is highly possible because Stowe is a very tricky corner in wet conditions, and even more so these last couple of corners, because it feels like you're hanging forever trying to get the traction for that final corner. What we're going to get out of him, it's going to be close. 41.4. He found like 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say the amount of time in that last sector was insane.
What's Drag King going to put in? He's coming around the final corner now. 40.8. Wow, these times are dropping.
Yeah.
Big time.
He's got more fuel on board. Triz, and he doesn't have to come back in because we're running out of time. If he wants to go for pole, he's got to get another fast lap in.
Oh, Wookie drifting through cops there. Very wide on the exit. He'll probably bail on that lap. It's probably not worth finishing. Evening, Ryan. Yep, we are getting some good laps coming up now. Good to see you on the chat, my friend. Let's see who else is coming around. Kick is currently invalidated. Geke and Lorpy are in the pits. Fire J is on an outlap on wet, so is Genie. So they're not fancying the intermediate way at the moment. They think they can find enough time on the full wet tyres. Sambal's invalidated, Sab is invalidated, Wookie is coming around the final corner. Let's see what he's got in the bag. It is P4.
Nice.
Good improvement there.
Well, Wookie's currently sitting second in the championship, so he's going to want a good result tonight. I think he's only, 3 points he's got to the leader Macca at the minute. He'll be pushing.
Evening Venom. Unfortunately, we don't let people join after the session has already started, because it does make it extremely glitchy. We've had many problems with that in the past. It would mean a full session restart, unfortunately. Hybe Clips, let's see what he's doing at the moment. He's just coming down to the final couple of corners. John sneaks in from nowhere with a almost 40 dead.
Wow.
That's 8/10 improvement over Drag King.
Yeah, enough.
Hybe Clips is going to put in a 40.9 P3. And here we go, we're going to be getting our final laps now. Let's have a look what we got. Kick seems to be on a lap.
To better himself. He's just
Smith's finished. Fire J is in the first sector. Genie is just coming through Chapel. He seems to be about a second up. I think he's going to need to find a little bit more than that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Samble is on the straight. Sabby. Stoob's done. Harry's invalidated. Tie Clear is on the hanger straight. Macca's finished. Wookie, I don't even think he's attempting a lap now. No, he's not with them times.
I think, Genie's 2.2 up on his last lap, putting him into 10th place. But I think 10th downwards really should have taken advantage and got the intermediates on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's a little bit of a missed trick there. Well, good evening, Mr. Scottish Ninja. How are you? How are you doing, Grant? The silly sod that sold his rig, so needs to buy another one. Shell takes P1, 38.8. What a lap in the dying moments of qualifying. Drag King is just coming round.
Shell thinks sitting third at the moment in the championships. It's only
P3 for Drag King.
Behind.
Hyve Clips, what's he on? Nope. He's done, and Fire J goes P12. So that would be our lineup for the start of the race. So we have Kick on pole, John in second, GTS Drag King third, Hyperclips fourth, Triz fifth, Wookie sixth, Macca seventh, Sambal eighth, Tyclear ninth, Harry 10th, Stoob 11th, Fire J 12th, Genie 13th, Sabby 14th, Smith 15th, Airways and It's Only KG 16th and 17th, Geke Matthew 18th, and Lorpy rounds out our grid with P19. Let's see what weather we're going to get for.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I think
it
they're going to be
should.
gifted with the opposite that qualifying's given us.
That does seem to be the way that Tier 3 goes, but we shall see. I will actually be quite gutted if it's wet for the race.
Silverstone in the dry is just well, great track really. You can get some good moves done in quite a few of the corners, or obviously the two DRS sections.
Unfortunately, in the dry, I don't quite have the overall pace, which is why I prefer it to be wet. I just seem to find more pace in the wet. I'm a bit of a strange one like that. Hopefully be back racing next week. I just wasn't really up to it this week. I had a tattoo on the back of my hand on Saturday and it's still a little bit stiff and sore, so I didn't want to risk it.
Right.
So I figured,
That's safe and sorry.
they were a bit short for comms this week, so I said, well, I'll jump in and help them. Comms team is all good, Ninja. Fortunately, we don't invite people mid-session. Just causes too many issues. And, yep, as you say, Steve, very dry.
Bit cloudy though. We could be in for what we just had last weekend. Bit of dry to wet maybe. Or being Silverstone, dry, wet, dry, dry, wet, wet.
It's Silverstone, toss a coin and take your pick.
Yeah.
Heads or tails, what we having?
Yeah,
Change lap after lap with the British weather.
I mean, and that place definitely got its own little weather system going on.
How's the championship looking anyway, Steve? I know you said you had.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, the championship. So at the moment, like I say, it's quite interesting because we've got where we Kick and Macca and Wookie the top three. Macca first, Wookie second, Kick third, and we've got Triz not really that far behind. So yeah, I think as well the two Kick drivers, Kick and Stube, are currently sitting one in the championship as well, which is quite a nice position to be in. I think they're on about 72 points in first place. And then Wookie, who's also in contention, currently in Alpine, they're in third position overall, I think, on about 59 points. So, depending what happens with the other Alpine driver tonight, could be a bit of a moment for them to make a move in the overall championship. But yeah, I think I've got my eye tonight on Kick, Triz, and Wookie. I think they're the ones to watch around this track by the looks of it and qualifying so far.
I think you could be right there. It's always. I mean, the wet always mixes things up because some people adapt to the wet better than others.
Yeah.
I think the more you play career mode, the more you are adapted to wet because it throws wet at you for the fun of it.
Right. I should do that once in a while. I generally play it on Grand Prix practice sessions and when we play online. That's the extent of my my playing of the game.
To be fair, for the last few years, I haven't really played career mode as much. I need to get back on it, and I did start a season on this one, but I do need to get back on it and go through it. So let's have a look at the Silverstone circuit while we're waiting for this. Cool down, let the drivers have a drink, go to the toilet, do whatever they need to do. So the track has, well, as we all know, it's first held by the Royal Automotive Club in 1926. The British Grand Prix has been held annually since 1948 and has been around of the Formula One World Championship every year since 1950. Like that's thinking it's been held so many times. Probably one.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's the home of British motor racing. It's probably the most iconic track in the world.
Yeah, it's got
Especially if you're a Formula One fan.
75 years, wasn't it? 75 years this year.
Most wins obviously goes to the guy they named the pit straight after, Mr. Lewis Hamilton with 9. The constructors' most wins is Ferrari with 18.
That just sounds wrong. I'm sure it's not, but judging by Ferrari's performance of my current generation, that just doesn't seem possible.
I think it's going back quite a few generations, that one, like your Schumacher era and before that.
Yeah.
Circuit length of 3.66 miles. plenty of corners to keep you occupied as well. It's one of them tracks where you don't really get much breather. You've got
No.
a couple of DRS straights, but you always end up fighting for position on them. And the rest of the time, it's all pretty on-the-go corners. I mean, from Luffield to Stowe is just an epic stretch of track. You've got the old pit straight, you've got Copse, which is almost flat out. I suppose if you've got the right setup, it is flat out. Then you go into Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel. Then you're onto the Hanger Straight, obviously fighting for position, into Stowe, and Stowe catches you out very easily. You can so easily run wide and cost yourself time, positions. And before you know it, you're in the last couple of corners.
That is probably the best section of track again, like worldwide. Hands down, I would say. Maggots Beckett's, like you said earlier on, especially some of the best series of corners to throw a Formula 1 car around.
Oh, here we go. We are pretty much into formation lap already. Good going.
We've got 23 watching at the moment, and we've still only got 8 likes on the channel. Come on, guys.
Come on, people, leave us a like.
Takes you a second. Helps us out.
Leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, you know, the usual. We're here 5 times a week. We bring you plenty of action. And all the comms team are nice and happy and obviously just want to entertain you.
Indeed.
Let's have a look. Tyres, what we got. So, 3 people starting on hards, which is Harry in P10, Fire J in P12, and Mutz Nuts in P20. Where did he come from? And everybody else has gone for the mediums. So,
I was going to say,
someone appears.
As if by magic.
I hope that doesn't glitch the lobby, because like we say, we normally don't let people join mid-session. But he is a tier 3 driver. I guess he was running late and has not been told not to join. Let's hope it doesn't cause any issues. I mean, he has got to start from the back.
Yeah, it looks okay so far, so fingers crossed.
It's usually when they form back up on the grid that you get the biggest issue, where it just holds you and never lets you go. Well, let's hope we avoid that.
Can't see anything in the chat.
Scottish Ninja says, "Oh man, I need to get another wheel ASAP. Missed the racing." Well, you shouldn't have sold yours then, you dunderheed. For a little bit of Scottish there.
Right, so let's have a look where we've got. So I'm going to make a shout here that I think Trees is going to make up quite a few positions off the start. I think him and Hive Eclipse probably going to do the same thing. And if Wookie can keep in there as well, I think a few of them might be able to get some moves done.
Yeah, Wookie is usually a good start. I think Genie might gain a few as well. I'm usually the opposite. I'm usually the one losing out, because I take it so cautious so I don't crash.
I'm a bit similar. If I try and push even a little bit, I tend to just spin the wheels up, and then I'm short shifting to try and stop it, and then I just lose time. So I'm quite tentative.
Genie and Sabby clearly both can't park. Both missing the pit box.
Parking can be difficult sometimes, you know.
I know, I did it last race.
I've done it once on this game, definitely.
Here we go, 3 red lights, 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go! Everyone seems to be getting away cleanly. Let's hope we get some good action and good racing. And Kick flies round into turn 1. No prisoners taken there. And we're into... Oh, that was a Williams going very deep there. Must either missed the braking pedal or just got something very wrong, but luckily no crashing so far. Everyone seems to be through cleanly, and we are heading down into Brooklands for the first time. Kick is definitely flying ahead at the moment. He's trying to break that 1 second barrier for the DRS, because as we all know, in the dry conditions we will have DRS at the end of this lap. So you've really got to get a move on these days. It used to be 2 laps, it's now 1. The only person who seems to be coming a little detached at the moment is Ty Clear. He don't have any damage or anything, does he? No, I can't see anything obvious. Maybe just having a little traction issue. Allowing himself to...
Stuff flicking up round turn 2 in the background on the opening lap there, but I don't know if that was a game glitch or if that was any car material.
Let's have a quick look at position changes, and Triz did the exact opposite of what you expected. He's gone down 5 places. Well done, Steve, you broke the commentator's curse. Okay, Kick has held his position, Drag King's up 1, John's down 1, Hiver's held, Macca's up 2, Wookie's held, Sambal has a number 1, I'm assuming that means he's up 1. Genie's up 5. I knew he'd do that, he's always good at starts. Harry's up 1, Triz is down 5, Stubbs held, Geki's up 6, Sabby's up 1, Mutsnuts is up 6, and then we've got down 3, down 7, down 2, down 1, down 3 and down 1. 3 people pitting as well. There must have been a little bit of chaos that we obviously didn't see there.
I didn't see any wing changes. They seem to get in and out fairly quick. Tyco's just taken Fire Oster at the back there to take 15th.
Must be getting used to them tyres now. Maybe he was just doing a McLaren thing and bringing him in slowly.
Oh. Sabby's gonna get moved down Gecko just before.
Oh yeah, just before Cop's corner, but then runs wide and does he give Gecko a run on the way back? They do. Maggots and Beckett side by side. That's brave. But Gecko gets the position back. No inches given there.
No.
Oh, Sammy gets really leery on the exit of Beckett's.
That's a shame. That's gonna scrub those tyres in the wrong direction there as well.
Certainly, and loses a good chunk of places for his troubles as well.
Yeah.
Harry and Triz are having a little bit of a go through here. Stoops hanging on the back trying to pull out. Through goes Hamilton type move. Unfortunately the guys in front did not go off, so he's not going to pull that one off just yet. It's definitely keeping him interested. Ty Clear is now past Mutsnuts. He's definitely making use of them tyres now. Maybe just doing my approach, a little cautious start and then give it some when the field starts to spread a little bit so you can start picking people off. Drag King and GTS are having a right old ding dong at the top. Just going round, is it Luffield corner they're at? It is.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Macca. It's just lost a bit of time to hide the clips, about 3 turns coming out.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there on the old pit straight. Kick is practically pushing GTS, or BTEC G-Star as he tends to get known. This, it could be a battle for the ages.
Oh, let's see how they do. Line there, Kick.
Yeah, he's lost himself a bit of time there coming through Beckett's. And even though he's going to get the DRS, like you say, he's run himself out of speed as well, so he's not going to get full benefit from the DRS there. So we'll look what else is going on. Macca is hanging onto the back of Hyper Clips.
Steve, Harry and Triz are all in their own little battle as well.
We've got some support in the chat for BTEC G-Start. Macca and Hyper Clips are going at it as well. And Hive's got himself a 3-second time penalty for his efforts.
He'll come back.
Mutsnuts 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Hive was a little bit leery there on the exit of the loop.
Yeah.
He seems to have run himself out of ERS already. Scottish Ninja says Mon the Wookie.
Yeah, he's closing in on these two. If I'm honest.
I hope he's had himself a little trim, you know. Very hairy them Wookiees.
Yeah.
Gecko and Stoob going at it near the back. That's just coming round Luffield as well. Onto the old pitch straight.
Just gone really wide round Cops. What are the penalties?
I mean, I do really like this track, but I must admit I do miss Bridge Corner.
See, I've struggled to remember a previous format or a couple of previous formats because I remember when they changed the start-finish straight position, but genuinely I can't remember the previous layout. But I know at the track next to, as you sort of at the end of Hamilton Straight, off to the right, off to the left, sorry, there's an old section of track which goes down and up a hill, which I seem to remember, but I can't actually recall the race with it in my head.
Yeah, well, it changed, was it back in 2010? I think was the first time they used the Hamilton Straight. So it has been a long time now that it's been this layout, so a lot of people won't really remember the original. I don't remember it fully, but I do remember Bridge Corner, which if you go to the Silverstone Museum you can actually see Bridge Corner.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's the one I was referring to then. That is the same. Yeah, it sort of comes down underneath a bridge which they've now painted up with some Larry mural. I think they used to have Coulthard and Hamilton and I think it was George Orlando painted on it underneath.
Yeah.
But that seems to have been all painted over now, and they've put some bright Larry coloured murals up on both sides.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's like you come down, do a left, a right, go under the bridge, turn right, and it comes back out left, and that brings you down to Brooklands.
Yeah, that'd be that bit then. Yeah, but it's just like a walkway there now, but you can obviously see the curbing at a certain point.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I went to the museum last year, the outside section was shut.
Oh.
I'm hoping if we go again, it'll be open and we can actually go outside.
Yeah, you can be lucky sometimes. Like I say, they've got things going on there. I think we went there once. My missus took me for some sort of a present or gift or something, and there was, I think it was British Superbikes were doing testing or something, and we could go out on just the back balcony bit and watch it. Or they let you go around the back onto the fencing for a little while, so that was pretty cool.
I think we're looking at going towards the end of the month, so I'm hoping we actually get to have a proper look at things this time.
Yeah. It's quite a good place.
Genie seems to be finding his pace. He's all over the back of Prix at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on that battle for a few corners and then see what else he's cooking. Obviously Kiki's still hanging on with GTS Drag King. I think them two are going to be battling for a while.
Macca's keeping John within DRS as well, so he's sort of dragging himself away a bit now from Wookie.
Yeah, Wookie seems to have fallen off a little bit, but maybe he's doing the sensible thing, look after his tyres for a while and then come good a bit later on.
Yeah. And they're starting on mediums, they're going for a one-stop by the looks of it. Straight onto a set of halves, finish the race. Quite high tyre wear around this track though.
Always has been, hasn't it? They always bring a tougher compound. Do you remember the year they didn't? Was it one of the 2020 race? Genie's gone through on Triz, did a through goes Hamilton moment. It's all over Sambal as well. Ooh, that got very Larry. And he's lost his position back to Triz. Yeah, it was the 2020 race, was it, when the tyres were popping and Hamilton finished the race on 3 tyres?
3 tyres, yeah. That was a scary moment for Hamilton fans, because all you could hear was his engineer telling him how much closer Verstappen was getting every single corner.
Yeah, because Verstappen had pitted, because that was it the British Grand Prix, and then they did the 70th one the week after, which Verstappen won.
Yeah, it was another good moment for Lewis, obviously, but yeah, it was a bit intense.
I must admit, he is something else when it comes to the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, I really thought he had it this year. Practice 1, I think he was fastest in that. Didn't quite cut it in practice 2. He was on to be fastest in practice 3, and on his third sector, there was a safety car or a yellow flag or something, so he had to pull out of it. But he would have had 2 fastest, and was sitting there like, do you think he could actually win this one more time? Do you think he could actually do it? I mean, obviously the race just didn't pan out, and yeah, and again Ferrari making totally the wrong fuel decision, and him not being able to get another run in quali as well was almost knocked him out of Q1, which was another monumental error.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of got lucky last year. Is this a
Yeah.
safety car? Or is it virtual?
Oh yeah.
I think it's a virtual. I don't see no
Well,
yellow dot on the track, but the full track is yellow.
Yeah, I've just got caution showing up on mine, same as on stream.
Yeah, I've got caution sector 3, but obviously the full track map has gone yellow as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did kind of get lucky last year with McLaren putting the wrong tyres on Lando. Even I was sat screaming at the TV going, why have you put softs on, they're going to die. Mediums was the choice.
And they totally screwed Oscar over in that race as well with a poor decision on pit. So yeah, that not their best year, not their finest moment.
No, they learned from it though.
Well, yeah, they came back this year and got the 1-2, didn't they? So
I mean, that team as a whole hasn't been used to success for a long time. Majority of the people in that team probably have never tasted success, really.
no,
Because it's been that long, they're all sort of learning as they go along. But they are coming good. I suspect they've got the constructors locked up by a country mile.
Yeah.
There we go, we've gone green again. And kick pits. Drag King stays out.
Sandbell and Sandbell. Very close down there. Sorry.
It is looking like a 2-horse race for the title in the real life F1 anyway. I was wondering at the start if it was going to be a repeat of 2007 where the McLarens take chunks out of each other all season and then Max came along and stole it.
Yeah.
But he's nowhere, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Did Piastri go over the radio or something, whinging about his 10 seconds, saying that they should swap positions? Did I hear that right?
Yes, you did.
I didn't have proper comms or anything.
It was basically saying that if you don't agree with the penalty, that seemed a little desperate.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, we got Sambal, Genie, Trees.
Whether you agree with it or not, it's him that got the penalty. Lando had no involvement in that. It's nothing to do with the penalty. Oh, Sambal very slidey there.
Yeah, he's trying to go side by side with Trees round Cops.
It's never a good move, is it? Side by side in Cops. You've got to have 100% trust in that car at the side of you.
That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, there was no way on earth Lando was going to give that up.
No, and I don't think he should have had to be honest. Like I say, Oscar got the penalty all on his own. And that was, in my opinion, I get you got to warm your brakes and stuff, but that was a full-on hot pace down to like near enough a stop. And the spray on that track to do that at that particular moment was a bit of a nuts move.
Yeah, that's my view on it as well, that it was daft. In the dry, you might have got away with that. In the wet, he was lucky Max didn't take him out.
Yeah, and if you see in the background as well, I mean, even Lando had to have a bit of a wobble because obviously it all slowed up so quickly, and he was fairly far back from Max at the time himself. So yeah, it's just a bit dangerous, I think, and unnecessary. But there's the flip side where obviously at that point Verstappen then braked and had to slow right up, and then that's when Piastri decided to go, and I did actually think that part of it was like genius.
And then Max ended up very uncharacteristically spinning.
Yeah, that was a bit unusual. He doesn't normally do things like that, admittedly. I can't stand him as a racer, but I can't also fault him as a racer as well. He's got some incredible talent.
I think it's because that car is such a dog, he's having to run the wings that low to be competitive, which in those conditions is very, very hard going. Maka trying to go around the outside of John at still doesn't really work out. He ends up going off track for his troubles. There's definitely some little battles going on here.
A little wobble John coming out of the club.
We've got a few spacings, but a lot of the grid is very close together.
Yeah.
Kick is on the back of Geke and gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him in his battle against BTEC G-Star. He did also pit very early. That makes me wonder, is he going for a 2-stop?
Yeah, possibly.
Pitting at the end of lap 8 with the high tyre wear at Silverstone.
Oh,
that's 18 laps on a set of hards.
Airways just got a nice little move done on Fire Rooster. Coming out of club. I think Rooster went a little bit wide.
Yeah, we've got... Yeah, let's go back to Gene because he's hanging on to Triz.
And he's got Steve right on his gearbox.
He certainly has. Hive is definitely going for a 2-stopper. He's on softs currently. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. The top 10 haven't pitted and all but Harry are on mediums. Harry's on hards. Kick is the first of the runners that has pitted with 2-lap hards. Geke is on 10-lap mediums. It's only KG 9-lap hards. Sabi 10-lap mediums. Airways 9-lap hards. Firejet is 10-lap hards. Lorpy 9-lap mediums. Hive Eclipse 2-lap softs. Smith
John's just put himself, sorry to interrupt you, John's just got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and he's currently sitting second.
That is always the most gutting. We'll have a quick look at the penalties anyway. John with 10 seconds, Mutz with 10, Kick, Sabi and Hive with 3. Everyone else has managed to avoid them nasty penalties so far.
I think I picked up one myself the other night racing here. I'm normally fairly consistent, but it's always that time when you've got somebody behind you and you just push that a little bit further.
Yeah, you just panic that and brake that a little bit later just to not leave them an opportunity in the braking zone. And then what you realise is they've dummied you into braking later, running deep, you get a penalty and they go past you.
Yeah, and then you just have to, pull your socks up and start all over. Very frustrating.
Ash Red Car Rambo, he's very good at selling people a house by feigning moves. Ask him about his famous Canada move from a few years ago.
Yeah.
He dummied someone that much at the... is it third chicane? Right. They practically went into the wall ahead and he just went around the chicane and headed down towards the hairpin. He sold him a whole housing estate there. Here we go, Stoops trying to make a move on Genie and goes past him. Way before the corner. Oh, there we go, Ryan's just commented, sold Tomo 222 a bungalow. There we go, Stoob and Genie into the pits, Drag King's in the pits.
Macca's just got past John, they're both fresh out on the set of hards there. Just got round him.
Oh, they're still side by side. Coming into the final couple of corners. Oh, that Racing Bull, does not look happy at the moment. It looks like Max style rear wings, it's all over the place. Just while it gets that warm-up going. Triz has decided to stay out. He's currently on 12-lap mediums. I think Triz is going for a 1-stopper here. If he pits at the end of this lap, he's got, 14 laps to do on hards, which I think is very doable.
Yeah.
He's done his hard stint. The hardest stint, sorry, with the mediums. He's pretty much got that out of the way. 12 laps is a very good stint on mediums with full tank of fuel.
Yeah.
It should be pretty plain sailing for him from here.
Well, he's closing in on Steve now, but so Steve's on a fresh set of hards, just warming him up. Lorpy's on 11-lap-old mediums.
Well, Mr. Hills has just commented and noticed it's gone very overcast. And we're on the old pitch straight and it looks alright here coming up into Corps, but...
Yeah, I'm on board with Lorpy at the moment.
If you look down towards Maggots and Beckett's, there is a few dark clouds appearing. Well, like you said earlier, this track has its own weather system. It can be blazing sunshine at one side of the track and monsoon at the other side.
Yeah, I think when this weekend, or just gone, it was on the start-finish straight, it was a bit drizzly. And then we had a friend text us and say, how can they race in this? It's absolutely hammering it down. It was like, well, it's not hammering it down where we're sat. And then they were talking about Maggots Beckett's. It was on the TV, and it was like torrential rain. But literally, you know, a couple of corners down the track, obviously probably about a mile away, but a couple of corners around the track, and it's barely spitting.
Yeah, I saw it on TV, and it was from about Luffield through to the start of Maggots was like monsoon conditions.
Yeah.
And where you were on the Hamilton Straight was just like dry.
It was insane. I mean, there was a really horrible dark blue cloud to the left, and I think a few bolts of lightning every once in a while. Keep it interesting, but yeah, it was just strange. Like I say, and it must be terrible for the drivers because tyre-wise, you've got, you know, set of dries for half the track, slicks, and set of wets for the rest of it. It's got to be an absolute nightmare.
But it was definitely a good race. One of the best ones we've had so far this year.
Yeah, I think so. Looking forward to Spa now. It's a bit of a long wait.
Yeah, we've got, is it 2 weeks off, and then it's on the third week.
Yeah.
And then we've nothing then for 3 weeks. Or is it? No, we've got Hungary just after that, is it? Then nothing for 3 weeks.
And then it's quiet again, yeah.
I'm used to Spa being the start of the summer break, but they've swapped Spa and Hungary round this time.
Yeah.
Because you normally do Hungary, Spa, then have the 3 week break, but they've done it the other way around.
Mm.
And the calendar's swapping around again a bit next year. With this whole regionalisation.
Yeah, because next year they're at Barcelona, or is next year the first year is it Madrid they're taking the street track to?
I think they've got both next year.
They're doing them both?
That's providing Madrid is ready. I think, is it Imola's on standby if it doesn't?
I think so.
But Barcelona's still on there for next year. But I think that's the last year of its contract. I must admit I'm gutted. I think the Barcelona track is iconic. I think it should stay personally.
Yeah, same here.
But I think it's some argument between the governments or something, which is why it's not. And we're now going to be stuck with another street track.
Yeah,
honestly, it gets more and more like IndyCar every year.
Yeah, I was just about to say, there's quite a lot of them popping up at the moment. Some of them, don't get me wrong, quite a lot of some of them. But, I mean, to drive, Jeddah's quite a good track.
Stube is about to put a move on Fire J down the Hanger Straight. And it's a done deal. I think it's tyre wear difference. Oh, Fire J one's really wide at Stowe.
Oh, there you go.
Straight in the pits.
So, set of mediums, 10 laps to go. 11 laps. 10.
And gets himself a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. There's a few of them popping up here. I do wonder if people are getting caught out by the slower speed lane.
Yeah, possibly. It's one of the slowest, isn't it, on the calendar?
Yeah, 37 miles an hour.
Oh.
As opposed to a lot of them that are about 50.
Yeah, they must want to just get out and walk. That must feel so slow for them. And it's long as well to run back onto the track.
Yeah, it's one of the longest pit lanes on the calendar. And one of the slowest. It's one of your biggest losses of the season.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Macca. He's just under half a second behind Drag King. Going into Maggots and Beckett's.
We would go on for a set of mediums.
And surprisingly, Triz is still running. He's been on them tyres that long. Kick has caught him back up on his 7 lap hards. And he's still going round. So he's about to complete his 16th lap on that set of mediums.
Now, I've got to ask here then, if he's done 16 laps on a set of medium, admittedly he's losing some time now, but is he going to risk it and get a set of softs on for just like 9 laps?
It does make you wonder.
That'd be a bold move. I mean, they go off in 3 laps, I guess, for real performance, but if he can make them last, he could pull back some positions from the pit stop.
Well, he's in the territory now of where he's going to have to pull a bold move to actually get a decent position out of this race.
Yeah.
Because all those that
Oh!
pitted earlier have now caught him up, and Drag King has a
Yeah,
big
Drag
moment
King's
going into
just
Brooklands
spun.
there. Fortunately, that's going to lose him a whole bunch of time.
I don't think there was any contact there. I think that was just a loss of traction. I caught the back end of it.
He's recovered himself, and Stubb's not caught up. So
Mac is right on the back of trees now.
let's have a look. If Triz pits now, I think he's going to come out somewhere around Genie.
Yeah, I think probably right there.
Maybe even
Thai clear
Airways.
area.
Because is it a 22 or
20,
23 second loss here? It's
I
definitely
can't remember the exact
one of the
number.
longest.
It is definitely 20 plus. I know that much.
Macca's just stuck a move on Triz. Is he actually going to pit? Here we go, he's in.
He's in, right.
I don't normally like pit stops, but I'm going to stay on board because I'm intrigued at what he does. He gets it slowed down.
Just jumped on.
Them tyres don't look very friendly right now, but he's done well to get,
Yeah, that's a good run.
what, 18 laps out of them? Oh, 17. He's
I'll be
pitted.
on ice boots from lap 10 onwards, I think. Oh, he's on a set of hards. Okay, that's interesting.
He's going to get a lot of potential out of them hards, though, and he can push the limits with them.
Really push. We'll give it a lap, and then yeah, he's
get him up to temperature, and he's going to be absolutely flying.
Where is he coming out? Where is he coming out? I think he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's ahead of Airways, so it's P10. P10, fresh set of tyres, get him up to temperature. He's very close to It's Only KG, Genie, and Ty Clear. It's after that he starts to get gaps. But then you've got to bear in mind some of the guys up the front have got penalties, especially John with 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That essentially puts him around Stubbs' area. So there is positions to be had here. I don't think he's going to be fighting top 3, but he could certainly score a top 5 if he's got the pace.
G-Star's just, yep, got the move done on Wookie. Going to keep running in G-Star. What should be referring to him as?
Well, a lot of us call him B-Tech G-Star.
B-Tech.
I don't know if he's related to G-Star. It's the impression I get that he's like a little brother or something, or if it's just because the name is that similar.
Yeah. But yeah, no, good move on Wookie there. Anyway.
Wookie doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment either, so it's not.
I think Macca's as well looking to have a bit of a battle with Kick before the race is up. In DRS, he's pulling him in.
The thing is, with Kick's penalty, he doesn't even need to go past him. He just needs to keep it clean, avoid a penalty, and he'll get the position anyway. But we both know you want to take it on the track.
Absolutely. Without fail.
There's nothing worse than getting handed a win because you've sat there and gone, yeah. We've probably all done it. We've all done it at some point, not taken that extra risk.
Sorry, I'm on board with Ty. It's only he's just got past Triz.
Hype Eclipse has retired, but I think that's in the pit lane, so that near the pit lane. It hopefully shouldn't cause a safety car.
Yeah, Ty Clear and It's Only having a nice little battle at the moment. It's only to be honest with you, got 2 moves done then in 2 corners.
Oh, I actually think Hive Eclipse may have retired on track there, unfortunately. I think the stewards will need to have a look at that because he looked like he'd crashed or something, and all of a sudden his car moved.
Oh.
I'm sure Mandy will be watching and listening anyway, so she'll be on that right now. Excellent. So back to the action, and Macca is very, very close to Kick. If he can keep it clean coming out of the loop, he could have a look at him down the Wellington Straight.
Tarkia and Genie still at it as well, all the way through Club there, Vale and Club. Side by side, so you're going to get them done up the inside into the village.
Yeah, KG and Genie are literally side by side as well, aren't they? And it's giving Triz opportunities as well on his very fresh tyres.
It's just sort of hanging in the back. I'll just let the 2 ahead Crack on.
KG's through. Going into Brooklands.
Closing from behind there. Just just watch them battle and then get ready to take advantage.
Yeah, that is the best course of action for Prix. Unfortunately, it's the worst thing for him having two cars in front of him battling because his DRS advantage is basically lost there.
Yeah.
Tie clear, 3-second time penalty. Too many warnings.
He's getting a nice double slipstream through Maggots Beckett's though. He's pulled in a huge gap.
Fortunately, the straights here aren't really long enough to get the double overtake done. I thought he was going to go for that.
I did, yeah. I was on board with him. I was like, oh my god, he's going to do the two.
He's got it done on the exit, but can he hold it in? Oh, big!
Was that contact?
Big snap.
Was it a snap?
He snapped under braking and went straight into the side of Gene, and he's in the pit lane.
As well.
Unfortunately, that's probably just ruined his race there.
It's a shame, yeah. I was on board, I didn't see anything behind, so I didn't know if it was a bit of oversteer, under braking, whatever it was.
Yeah, the shot I had was really good. It was like it was looking down from sort of the pit area.
Right.
And as he was, I think he's gone no assists, and I think he must have locked the rear under braking.
It's easy done. Fair play for the no assists though.
I suspect that's what it is. I'm sure somebody said to me he's gone no assists this season. I am tempted because I've nothing to lose for the rest of this season now.
That's the only reason I ever did it. I just thought start a season fresh. I think, and last year I think it was when the last game came out. I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to start the game without it and see how I go. Take it from there.
I just need time to practice, really. I don't want to be the first time I get on track with no ABS, and then all of a sudden I'm just sliding and smashing people off left, right and centre. Doing a bit of Bottas bowling at turn 1. Genie
I think my first ever start in MRC, I hadn't actually thought about doing any practice starts. I'd just been doing like practice laps and time trials and stuff at the time. And I think I qualified really well in my first race, and then off the start line spun it straight into a wall, and that was me done for the first race.
Oh, I've done that. I think it was my second or third race was actually at Silverstone, funnily enough, in the wet. I qualified P4, which was my best qualifying by a country mile. Got too leery off the start and hit the pit wall, broke my wing. Damn.
Yeah.
That's when me and Connor had a pretty epic battle, and we were coming up to Cops, and it was about a week after the Verstappen-Hamilton thing.
Right.
And we both kind of bailed it, and then Genie came along and just went thank you and went down the side of both of us. I never let him forget that moment. So Macca's now taking the lead. Let's have a quick look at tyres, see how they're going. He has got the better tyres as well by 3 laps.
Yeah.
Same with John. Although unfortunately John's got that 10-second penalty, which is probably going to come back to bite him a bit.
Yeah.
He's currently going to lose out to BTEC G-Star and Wookie. Stoob's a little bit out of it. So we'll see how that pans out. We've only got about another 3 laps to go as well after this one, so we're definitely getting there.
Yeah.
Where's the time gone? It doesn't seem like we've been doing this for 23 laps.
No, I know. So that's the joys of Silverstone. There you go.
That's why I like doing quick. You don't really have time to think, oh, we're 2 laps in, we've had 4 safety cars, and what are we going to talk about now?
Yeah.
It's just very action-packed, and it just keeps going.
Safety car as well, you know. It's been
it has been safety car free other than that virtual,
exactly.
which is exceptional for this tier. I think nearly every week we have a safety car.
And especially the first 3 turns, well 4 turns around this track on the opening lap, they're very tricky because obviously everyone wants to try and make positions, and you're often 2 or 3 wide into certainly the first 2 corners. and it looks like everyone got round pretty much.
Majority of the first lap can be very tricky, as was proved in 2021. That battle went all the way to Cops and then unfortunately ended in a barrier, but
Yeah.
that was nobody's giving an inch. It was definitely one of the most dramatic first laps I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the most dramatic's got to be the Grosjean moment of Bahrain.
Wow. Yeah. The
Remember
fireball.
just watching that on the TV and thinking, my God, a fireball, first of all, because you don't normally see that. And then it was like, hold on a minute, the car's in two parts and he's not getting out. It's like, oh my God.
The most dramatic I've ever seen in terms of a lot of vehicles being involved was Spa 1998.
I knew you were going to say Spa. After turn one, yeah?
Yeah, when Coulthard lost it and collected half the grid.
Can you imagine how much money that costs overall?
Several million.
Yeah,
with all them cars. And that was
easy.
back in the days when they used to have a third car, so a lot of them restarted.
Yeah.
These days, that'd be half the grid gone.
Yeah, that was, I'd like to say that was absolutely insane. That was like something out of Blues Brothers, the amount of cars going all over the place.
Yeah, Murray had a meltdown at that, I remember it. I remember watching it live, and then it took them nearly an hour to clean it all up.
Oh yeah, there was a lot on track.
There was a lot going on that day for definite. I mean, they wouldn't even race in them conditions anymore. That was monsoon.
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
Good for the Jordans though, with the 1-2.
Yeah, they had a tribute at Silverstone at the weekend. A couple of the old Jordan cars going around with the Bitten and Hisses sponsors on. That was nice to see.
They had, was it Mansell's old car going around as well, one of his 80s, was driven by Zach Brown.
Yeah, it's there was a couple. I got some photos. There was a couple of them there. I think one of James Hunt's was there. I think maybe one of Nelson Piquet's. But yeah, no, there's some proper nice old classics, and the obviously the engines sound so much better than the current version of engines we have now.
I do miss the old V12s and the V10s, even the V8s.
Yeah. Something else, weren't they? The noise, the power, the height that revs can go up to, and not destroy the engine.
Yep. Just having a quick look at the penalties while we head round towards starting the last lap. So John 10 seconds, Kick 3, Tyclear 3, Sambal 3, Sabi 3, Fire J 13, Mutsnuts 13, and everybody else so far is penalty free. And there we go, the top three at least have started the final lap. Go on, what were you going to say?
We were talking, John got past Kick. Obviously John's got a big old penalty there, but he's got past Kick, but I think Kick was trying to get back again. He wants that position over the line.
I think he's still going to lose out to probably Wookie with the way it's shaping up at the moment. Yeah. He definitely won't lose out to Stoob though, he's a bit too far back. Anyways, it's pitted as the higher tiers after.
Perfect for Maka, obviously current leader of the championship. This is going to give him a nice little boost.
Is this
his current competition, so he's down in 5th at the moment, what's up to 3rd.
I think Maka's got a record currently of every race he enters he wins.
Well, yeah, looking at the standings, I mean, obviously I haven't got this week's, but he's on 50 points, so that's 2 wins basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't race at Austria. Martin Hill says Drag Queen on for a podium. Yes, I believe he is, which is really good after that spin earlier on.
Yeah, good recovery race.
He's recovered well. He's proved that his promotion from Tier 4 was warranted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go, Maka coming in to complete his hat-trick. 3 races entered, 3 races going to be won. Unless somehow he absolutely messes up in this final sector. Here we go, round the final corner, and the Ferrari takes the win. John will come through 2nd. Kick 3rd. Drag King 4th, but takes 2nd on the track after penalties. Wookie gets 4th, which pushes John into 5th. Stu's going to come round to take P6. Yep, and we've got a few seconds to wait for. It's only KG who is currently in the Through Goes Hamilton pit.
Oh, good race that.
P7, Genie coming through for P8. I don't think there'll be much confusion over tyre clearance. Sabby with...
Tyre clear just flew over the curb, coming out of club to the finish line.
Yeah, got a little bit friendly with the sausage there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a big old sausage.
There we go, Sabby and Triz come through together. Triz ends up taking P10.
Okay, he's just had a moment.
Sambal
maybe him and Sambal were battling there over the last corner.
Oh, Kick's activated that glitch where you leave the session before everybody's crossed the line and it DNFs you. But I'm sure that'll get sorted by Ant when he does these stand-ins. He's used to these things.
Over the line.
And then we've just got Lorpy and Smith to come through, who are both obviously higher tier drivers anyway, so... That was an interesting drift there from Smith.
Yeah, Smith handbrake turned it into the last corner there.
And there we go, the final driver is across the line. And that is our race done with. Definitely some action going on there, and quite an interesting race to watch.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That's pretty good.
Hopefully we managed to capture enough action there. So I didn't know where to go half the time. They were all so close and so many battles going on.
There was quite a fair few throughout the field. Didn't seem to, I know everyone sort of spread out, but there was still, not necessarily trains, but there was still, you know, some cracking battles all the way through that.
I must admit this looks a bit unrealistic. I mean, there was no Ferrari on the podium, no Williams on the podium, no Alpine on the podium, and they've not got Lego trophies.
Yeah, that was a bit of a kick in the nards, wasn't it?
I quite like the Lego trophies.
Well, I think it was good, but I did genuinely feel sorry for Hulk on the basis that, you know, he's waited all that time and ultimately he gets a bit of Lego.
Here we go, we've got
nice gold or silver.
Race winner Macca, fastest lap Airways, driver of the day it's only KG, most overtakes it's only KG, and cleanest driver Genie.
Excellent.
On our reward system, who would you say was the driver of the day on that one?
Do you know, I think I'm going to just go with Macca, to be honest.
He was good, I must admit, but I think I'm going to go with the BTEC G-Star.
Yeah.
He's had, I know he's not
solid
gained as many
recovery.
positions, but he's had a very solid recovery.
Yeah.
And he's only just been promoted to Tier 3, and he's just proved on his first outing exactly why. And I did see him commenting in the Discord a couple of days ago saying he was really struggling with his pace.
Oh, well, in that case, you're going to twist my arm quite easily, and I'm going to join your team on that basis.
But yeah, well done to everybody. What a cracking race. Most of the grid finished, and we didn't get a proper safety car in sight. Bert Mylander got to sit in the pits. What more could we want?
Exactly.
What time are we on now? It's just going 8:15. So in about half an hour at 8:45, rejoin the YouTube channel, and Tier 4 will be going live. I believe that is BitW365, and with a special guest appearance of Mr. Mark Hodgson.
Ah, excellent.
So that should be brilliant to watch, and
I'll be tuning in.
Thank you, Steve, for joining me.
Thanks for some great comms this evening.
Not a problem. Hopefully we'll be together again, but obviously it won't be Tier 3 because I will be back on the track next week, hopefully.
Excellent. Well, I should look forward to watching that.
But from all of us here, thanks for watching. Remember to leave us a like, and good night.
Have a good evening.